Good morning and welcome back to the next session. Uh, Yesterday we discussed about the different kind of inverter circuits, and we also talk about what are the problems and what are the benefit associated with all the combinations whatever we discussed. Okay, so and we got to know that in some of the combinations the noise margin is the function of transistor sizing, but in some of the combinations it does not depend on the transistor sizing, whereas in some of the combination we got to know about the power dissipation and other things. So we have discussed all these parameters whatever needed. So further to extend the analysis after this inverter, let us try to design some of the bigger circuit, how we can design the bigger circuit, what are the procedure we need to follow. Because see, inverter is just like whatever we can keep. We can keep one PMOS transistor and one NMOS transistor, work as an inverter. But suppose if I have to implement some functions, not the inverter, like some any Boolean function f is equal to ab plus c complement or something like that. In that case, we need to know proper procedure how to design that. Directly we cannot do that, especially if the function is complex. Okay, so for a smaller circuit like AND gate, NOR gate, XOR gate, this is possible, just you can remember it. But for the bigger functions, it is not possible to remember. So you have to design the function, how it will look like, especially if I'm planning to design that particular function on the CMOS based logic. Okay, so this is needed. So for this purpose, let us try to understand how we can design the circuit on the CMOS and what are the different procedures that we need to follow. Okay, yes, so this is the simple diagram of the let us, so what we are planning, we are just planning to initially we will start with the designing of 2-input NAND gate. Okay, and then this 2-input NAND gate, how we will design, then we can extend this analysis for the complex circuit. So because this is important, we should know how we can design the 2-input NAND gate. Okay, fine. So suppose I have this pull-up network and the pull-down network. For inverter, I will have one input in the pull-up and one input in the pull-down network. But suppose if you have more than one inputs, in that case, we need to connect in a such a way, or we need to design both the blocks in a such a way that both should work for the complete logic functions. Okay, so this is what the Boolean function is. This is what the pull up and pull down network is, and here we will observe the V output. Okay, so this is what we are getting, the V output. So because our objective is to design the 2-input NAND gate, so what is the first step? So the first step is like if I just wanted to make the NAND gate, so we know that the NAND gate looks like this. If I have two inputs, let us say A and B, in this case, the output Y is nothing but this is the A dot B complement. Okay. And if you talk about the truth table of this one, so this is quite simple. We know that. So let me quickly go through it. A, B, and Y, and nothing but if it is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. Okay, so the output will be high if any one of the input is low. So 1, 1, 1, 0. So this is what the truth table of this NAND gate is. Okay, now let us talk about the steps which we need to follow, because this is the simple what we need to do. So let us talk about the step number 1. Step 1. First step is the important thing is like because if I'm talking about the CMOS based structure, we always need to keep the pull-up network in the like the PMOS transistor should be in the pull-up network and the NMOS transistor should be in the pull-down network. So the first step is like we need to fix it like the PMOS must be in the pull-up network and the NMOS must be in the pull-down network. Okay, so this is the first step which we should fix it. Okay, and we know that this is really very important, that the PUN, whatever we have, PUN is complementary to, okay, complementary to PDN. Okay, so this is really very important that we should understand. What does it mean? It means that if the pull-up network is in the series combination, okay, if the pull-up network is in series, the pull-down network will be in the parallel combinations, and so vice versa. Similarly, if there may be some possibilities like pull-up and the pull-down network is in the mixed combination, like there could be some series and there could be some parallel combinations. So the component which are in the series in pull-up network, that will be in the parallel if we are talking about the pull-down, and the component which are in the parallel, that will be the series in the pull-down network. So yeah, we will see all these things in detail later on, no problem at all. So this is the first step. We need to fix the like PMOS transistor should be in the pull-up network, and the pull-down network should be made of the NMOS transistors. Now the second step which we need to follow, yeah, I'm just explaining for this particular design, I'm explaining each step, and later on we can quickly go through it because you will be able to understand what we can do. Okay, so the step 2 is simply whatever the function we have, like let us assume I have the function y is equal to a dot b complement. So this is the function which I want to implement based on the CMOS based circuit. So this function can be designed with the two way. First way is either you can design the pull-up network and make the complement for the pull-down network, or you can design the pull-down network and you can make the complement of for the pull-up network. So both are possible because we have already written pull-up network is a complementary to pull-down network. Okay, so let me start with the pull-up network only. Okay, so if I have the pull-up network, if I'm planning to design the pull-up network, then how it can be done, let us see. I will tell you in other designs, I will tell you if I am starting our design with the pull down, then how it will look like. Okay, but okay, so I am designing the pull-up network. Okay, if very important thing, if I am designing the pull-up network, whatever the function you have, you don't need to complement it. Whatever the function, you just need to keep it as it is. Okay, so here we have the function like y is equal to a dot b complement, but because here both the variables like variable a and variable b, and we are making the complement, we are a product of those things, we are ending both the variables, then we are making complement of it. So what we need to do, we need to separate both the variables by applying some of the Boolean's law, whatever that we have. Okay, so we know that one of the law is the De Morgan's law, De Morgan's theorem. Okay, so if I'm applying the De Morgan's theorem, what kind of expression I will get? I will get the expression something like y is equal to a plus b, and a complement plus b complement. This is just simply what I have done. I have just applied the De Morgan's theorem. Okay, we know that the complement of the product is equal to the sum of the complements. Okay, so this is what the Boolean function is. Okay, so this is the first step which we need to do. Second thing what we need to do is like if I'm talking about the pull-up network, so two important things that you should know, and those important things are, first important thing is, if I'm considering for PMOS kind of designing, because yes, in the pull-up network PMOS we used to consider. Okay, so the input will be opposite to the expression for whatever the expression we have. Like here we got the expression y is equal to a complement plus b complement. Okay, so if I'm connecting the pull-up network like PMOS transistors, so the input of the PMOS transistor will be opposite to the expression. Okay, and similarly, if I'm talking about if the NMOS transistor is there, like if I'm connecting the inputs to the NMOS transistors, input will be same as the expression. Okay, so input will be same as expression. Okay, you will know about these things what I am writing here. Okay, one more thing. Okay, if I have a parallel combination, okay, so if there is some plus symbol in between two variables, like here we can see here from here we have a bar plus b bar, so here we have the plus symbol. So if plus symbol is there, what I need to do, I need to put both the transistors, both the PMOS transistor in the parallel combination. Okay, if plus symbol is there, what I need to do, I need to make the transistors in the parallel. Okay, and but if there is some dot symbol is there, like if there is some ending kind of thing is there, in that case I will connect both the transistors in series. Okay, so we got 4 important points that need to be addressed here. Okay, so based on these 4 points, let us try to draw the diagram, how it will look like, how the pull-up network will look like. So here we have, if I'm seeing y is equal to a bar plus b bar, because I'm designing the pull-up network and the pull-up network should be of the PMOS transistor, whatever the input we have, that should be the complementary opposite to this one. Okay, so here we have the variable like a complement, so the input of the PMOS transistor should be a. Similarly, here we have the b complement, then the input of one of the transistor, one of the PMOS transistor should be b. Let us assume we have the expression something like a bar plus b. In that case, a will directly be connected and the b will be the, we need to connect the second transistor's input with the complement of b. Okay, so we need to consider the opposite whatever expression we have. So considering these things, let us try to design how this will look like. Okay, so because here we have the positive symbol, so I need to connect both the PMOS transistors, those should be in the parallel. Okay, both the PMOS transistors should be in the parallel. Okay, so here I have connected both the PMOS transistors, and we know that the pull-up network, because we are designing the pull-up circuit, so the pull-up network is always connected in between VDD and the output. Okay, so here we can see from this diagram, the pull-up network is nothing but it is in between the V output and the VDD. Okay, so here we have the V output. Now, because here we have the A bar and B bar, so these two input should be like A and the B, and this is the design of the pull-up network, how the pull-up network will look like. Yeah, it looks simple, especially if you have the less number of variables, but for the larger variables, might be it will be interesting. Okay, so this particular block is nothing but this is the pull-up network. Okay, so this is what we have designed the pull-up network, because I have already written here, like if the pull-up network is in the parallel combination, then the pull-down network will be in the in the series and vice versa. So directly we can make, like, see here in the pull-up network we need 2 transistors, like that will be the PMOS transistors, and A and B will be the input. But at the same time, if I'm designing the pull-down network, in that case both the transistors should be in the series. So yeah, let me try to design the same things again so that you will be able to understand what I'm doing. Okay, so the step number 3 is pull down design. Okay, so PDN design. Yeah, it is not necessary to design both the blocks. Like if you have designed one of the module, one of the either pull up or pull down network, you can make the complementary for the other one. But yeah, to explain you, I just wanted to I design here as well. Okay, like how we can design the pull down network. So you can consider any of the way, like either you can design the pull down or you can design the pull up network. Okay, so see here, if I am designing the pull down network, and we know that we have the expression y is equal to a dot b complement. Okay, this is the expression y is equal to a dot b complement. And if I'm designing the pull down network, in that case, what I have to do, the important thing is whatever the expression we have, if I am designing the pull down network, whatever the expression we have, we need to make the complement of this one, because for the pull up network we have not considered the complement, because the pull up and the pull down networks are complement. So we need to find the complement of this one, and the complement of this one is nothing but this is y complement. Yeah, find the complement. Okay, find the complement, and the complement will be like y complement is equal to a dot b. So here we have a dot b, which is the complement. Okay, now see here in the previous slide we wrote one thing, like if the dot symbol is there, we need to connect the transistor in series. Okay, if dot symbol is there, the transistor should be in the series. And if I am considering for the NMOS transistor, whatever the input we have, that will be same as the expression. The input of NMOS transistor will be same as the expression. So because here the expressions are a and b only, so I don't need to complement it. Okay, and if there is some dot symbol, so I need to make both the transistors in the series combination. Okay, so here this circuit will look like this one, like pull down network will look like this one. Okay, so whatever the expression we have, I need to directly connect it, a and b, and the pull down network is connected in between the v output and the ground. So here we will have a v output, here we will have a ground, and this particular block whatever we made here is nothing but this is the pull down network. So this is the pull down network. Okay, so now let us go back in the previous slide. In this slide, what we have, so let us try to combine this pull up network and the pull down network to make the proper function. Okay, so a pull up network is nothing but two transistors are in the parallel, which are the PMOS transistors, and the pull down network is nothing but the two transistors are in series, which are the NMOS transistors. So after combining all these things, we will get the circuit something like this. So this upper block is nothing but this is the pull up one, and the lower one is the pull down one. Okay, and this is the V output, whatever we are considering. So
Sir,
yeah, please.
in this also we will follow that pull-up network will be only made of PMOS.
Yeah, so I just already told you why we are always considering the see, if I'm talking about the CMOS based circuit, we always consider the pull-up network should be made of the PMOS transistor, because we need maximum noise margin, and to achieve maximum noise margin we must use the pull-up PMOS transistor in the pull-up network, otherwise there will be threshold voltage drop, right? So we need to consider the PMOS transistor only. So the best design practice is like the PMOS transistor should be in the pull-up network and the NMOS transistor should be in the pull-down network, so that we can achieve the maximum maximum noise margin. Okay. Yeah, of course you can design other way, like it's not a problem, you can design it, but the thing is you will face some noise margin problem, stability will not be there, and so this is the problem. Okay, you got the answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So
and sir, whatever circuit we design, we use only that only this inverted kind of configuration, right?
yes, yes. So if I'm talking about the CMOS based structure, in that case, we always consider the inverter kind of configuration. Like, see, yeah, I missed one thing. Let me, yeah, sorry, here only. So suppose I have a two input or n number of inputs. So for one input, if you can recall the inverter, I had one input and one output. In that case, we need two transistors, one for pull up and one for pull down. Okay, so similarly, in the same way, if I have let us assume n inputs, in that case the total number of transistors in this case will be the 2n. Okay, so the total number of transistor in CMOS logic is equal to 2n, where n is equal to number of inputs. Okay, so this is important thing that you should consider. So the total number of, so this is one of the drawback of this one, right? So I will tell you later on, like we will talk about the other kind of logic styles, what are the benefit of this CMOS based structure, and how we can, because for n number of input we need 2 n transistors. Okay, so the area is going to be doubled. Okay, so how this area can be overcome, how you can reduce this area, I will let you know when I will teach you about the different logic families, logic styles. Okay, so at that time I will explain in more detail. Okay.
And sir, one more question. So to design pull-up network, we need to like decompose it using De Morgan's law.
Yes. No, see, it is not necessary that you have to apply the De Morgan's law. If both the variables are dependent on some function, like if you see here, the complement will become once I will get the ending of A and B. So here we need to separate both the variables. Okay, and that we need to apply any of the law, whatever we have studied in the Boolean function. Okay, it is not necessary that we have to apply only De Morgan's law. So here, because here A dot B complement is there, and the function is the output, it depends on the complement. Okay, then first we will do the ending, then we need to calculate the complement of it, or we need to invert it, and then we will get the function. To overcome this problem, to make both the variables independent, we need to apply some of the law. And here, because by applying simple De Morgan's law, we can get both the variable which are independent. So we have to separate both the variables somehow. This is our objective.
Okay, so sir, like this inversion of operation is dependent on both the variable. That's why we like decompose it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what we have: the pull-up network and the pull-down network. And after combining this pull-up network and the pull-down network, we will get the final circuit that looks like on the right hand side. Okay. One more thing, let us assume, let us try to validate it whether this circuit is acting as a NAND gate or not. Okay, so let us consider this transistor is M1, this is M2, let us assume this is M3, and this is M4. Okay, and here we have the truth table. Suppose if both A and B is equal to 0, so let us try to validate any one, and then we will get the answer. So let us assume if A and B both are 0, if A and B both are 0, what it means, this transistor M1 and transistor M2 will be in the on state. Okay, and this M3 and M4 will be in the off state. So what will be the what we will get? This VDD will be transferred to this V output, because both the transistors are on. So the V out will be nothing but that will be equal to the VDD, and that is nothing but this is the logic high. Okay, similarly, let us consider another case like A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 1. So A is equal to 0 means I am considering A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 1. So this will be in on state, this will be in the off state, this will be in on state, and this will be in the off state. Okay, so if you see here, there is no direct path between V output and the ground, because the B, like transistor M4, is open circuited. This is in off state, so there is no direct path between ground and the VDD. But if you see here, even though we have only one transistor is activated in the pull-up network like M1, we are getting a path to charge this load capacitance which is connected at the V output, and that is why we will get the output. Output is equal to VDD. So in other case we will get the V output is equal to VDD, and we can also validate for other cases as well. Okay, so this is how we can validate all the combinations. Okay, so yeah, after seeing this one, we can say that this particular circuit is just looking like a NAND gate. Okay, so this Boolean function output function is nothing but this is the NAND gate. Okay, so this is what we studied, and we know the things what is happening here. But we also need to analyze, like just we saw two cases. First case, like this first case was what this first case is saying. This first case is saying both the transistor M1 and M2 will be in on state, And if both the transistors are in on state, what it means, there will be some on resistance for M1 and for M2. And because both are in parallel combination, the equivalent resistance will be reduced. Okay. So, and in other case, might be we will have a single resistance. So the charging time constant will be different for 0-0 combination than 0-1 or 1-0 combination. Let me say it again. I will explain it in detail in the next slide. But yeah, quickly let me explain it here. Because if I'm considering this 0-0-1, okay, in that case, both transistor M1 and M2 will be in on state. Okay, so the on resistance of, if I'm considering the sizing of both the transistor M1 and M2 is same, so we will get the equivalent resistance will be half than one of the resistance of one of the transistor. Okay, so if the resistance will be half, it means you require half time to charge the capacitor. Okay, but in other two cases like 0-1 and 1-0 cases, only one transistor is on, so the resistance will be the exactly whatever we have for a single transistor, so it will require more time as compared to the first case. Okay, so there is some mismatch in the delay, okay, for all the cases. Okay, so we'll discuss all these things in the next slide. So let me explain whatever I'm saying in detail in the next slide. Okay, so here, yeah, this circuit we have already drawn. Okay, so let us try to make the, yeah, this we made like M1, this is M2, this is M3, this is M4. I have connected, let's assume I have some load resistance CL over here, and I'm taking the output from here. Okay, so this is the circuit whatever we have already made before. Now let us try to check all the combinations. Like, so what are those combinations? Yeah, so this becomes the step number. Which step it is? I think design 3. Yeah, this is the step number 4. Okay, and this is step number 5 for the functional testing, functional verification. This is step number 5. And then sorry, then the next one is step 6. Okay, what is the step 6? I don't need to write here. Let me write here. Okay, so I need to find the equivalent circuit for all the cases. Okay, so let us consider if A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 0. This could be one of the combination. Second combination could be like A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 1. Third combination could be A is equal to 1, B is equal to 0, and the fourth combination could be A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 1. Okay, so let us try to draw the equivalent circuit in all the combinations. If A and B both are 0, in that case, I'm considering like, yeah, so like the transistors of both the PMOS is same and transistor of both the NMOS is same. Okay, and so the equivalent resistance will look like this. Okay, this is the VDD. Okay, here we will have 2 open switches, and this is what it will look like. And here I will have load capacitance, okay, CL. Similarly, so yeah, so I'm just writing it like R on P, R on P. Okay, so for, because I'm considering the P for the PMOS transistor. So similarly, the second case could be like A is equal to 0. So this is in on state, this will be in the off state. So this is how it will look like, VDD. And the below it will be like A is equal to 0. So this will be open circuited, and the next one is having some resistance. Okay, and from here we are getting the output. Okay, so this is R on of N, and this is R on of P. Okay, and here I have connected some load and I'm getting some output here. Similarly, let's try to make the diagram for the third case. In the third case, we'll have a open circuit over here and then one resistance over here. Yeah, this is the same like, yeah, but there is some difference. Yes, it looks like both are same, but when we will do the detailed analysis of this circuit, we will get to know that the placing of transistor is also very important. Logically, it looks like same. Like, see, let me draw it first, then I will explain what I'm saying. Okay, so here we will have a resistance. Here we will have some on off circuit. So this is the R on of N. Here I'm getting some output and some connecting some load. Okay. This is the R on of P, and for this case, both the pull-up network will be in the on state. Okay, so this is what we have drawn the equivalent circuit for all the four cases. Okay, now let us try to see here. Let me change the color. Okay, if we see the first case, in the first case, what I am getting the total resistance is half. That becomes the half. Okay, so this is nothing but like the, because see, if I'm talking about the pull-up network, so I'm considering the TPLH. Okay, I'm considering the TPLH because I'm charging this capacitor through the pull-up network. Okay, so what will be the TPLH? So TPLH will be is equal to, what will be?
R on by 2.
R on by 2 into
R on P by 2.
R on P by 2 into CL, right? Okay,
Yes.
so 1 by 2 R on P, R on P into CL. So this is the TPLH. Let us talk about the TPLH for the second case. So TPLH for this case,
Sir, R on P into CL.
R on P into CL. So R on P into CL. And similarly, TP, it will be same like this one. So TPLH is nothing but this is R on P into CL. And for this case,
TPHL equal to 2 times R
yeah,
on
so let me change the color for TPHL so that you can differentiate it properly. So TPHL is nothing but this is, what is the TPHL?
2 times RONN into CL.
2 times R on N into CL. Okay, so this is what we will get the charging and the discharging time constant. Okay, because the equivalent resistance is double in this case. Like if I'm talking about this one, this becomes the 2R on N. Okay, and here it will become, let me change the color because that will be better to understand. That becomes R on P by 2. Okay, now the important thing for the consideration here is like, let us consider the mobility of electron is twice than the hole. For simplification, for simplicity, it is approximately 2.25 to 2.5 times, but for simplicity, let us consider the mobility of electron is double than the holes. Okay, if mobility of electron is double than the hole, then we just got to know here is like what we need to consider. Whatever the worst case delay here, if you can see here, TPHL is only one component. We have only one component for TPLH, so we need to consider this. Okay, so there is no problem with the TPHL, but TPLH has 3 components. But what we need to consider, in the first case, TPLH is lower or half than the other 2 cases. Okay, and if it is like that, what we have to do, we have to consider the worst case delay component to analyze any circuit. We cannot go for the minimum one. We always need to consider what is the worst case delay. So we will not consider the first component, we will consider the second or the third component. Okay, so this component will decide what is the worst case delay. Okay, so the step number 7 is like step 7 is to calculate the delay. What is the delay here? So let us try to finalize it, which of the component I need to consider. Okay, so here we have like TPLH, and the worst case TPLH is nothing but this is the R on P into CL. Okay, and the worst case TPHL, yeah, we have only one TPHL, so it will be the R on of N into CL. If I'm considering,
So 2 times.
yeah,
Twice of.
yeah, sorry, yeah, sorry, yeah. It will be the 2 times of R on into L. Now, if mobility of electron is approximately is equal to twice of mobility of hole. Let us consider for this simplicity. For the simplicity, I'm considering the mobility of electron is the twice of mobility of hole. In that case, can anyone comment what is the, if I have taken the equal size of the both the transistors, then what will be the resistance?
Sir, the resistance R on N is equal to half times R on P.
Okay, so R on N is equal to half of the R on P. Okay, perfect. So here I can write here like R on N is equal to half of R on P. Okay, now let us see here. If somehow I can replace this one R on with the R on P, half of the R on P, so we can see here TPLH and TPHL both are looking like equal. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here I have the TPHL is equal to R on P into CL. Here I have TPHL is equal to 2R on into L. And if I replace this R on by half of the R on P, then this TPHL and the TPLH is going to be equal, right? So the important thing is like TPHL is approximately is equal to TPLH. What is the conclusion out of it? The conclusion is, yeah, so this conclusion will be like more clear if I will design other circuits, right? So this is really very important, which I'm saying here. Okay, so if I am considering all the transistors with the minimum size or a small size, in that case, I can make equal rise time and the fall time. If you can remember inverter circuit, to make equal rise time and the fall time, you have to increase the size of PMOS transistor by double or 2.5 times so that you can have the equal rise time and the fall time. Okay, but in this case, in the NAND case, you don't need to increase the size of any of the transistors. By default, you are getting equal rise time and the fall time. So this particular design, like this NAND gate, is nothing but this is the symmetrical kind of design, and you don't need to size the transistor. Okay, so this is really important. Like the conclusion we can write somewhere here that the CMOS based NAND gate is symmetrical. Okay, one more question, like you know that the universal gates are the NAND gate and the NOR gate, right? Do you know these things? Like the NAND gate and NOR gates are the universal gate. Means what it means, you can design any other gates by considering the NAND gate or NOR gate. Okay, but after knowing these things, like after I will explain, when I will explain the NOR gate, then you will get to know that this is not true in the case of CMOS based logic. You need to consider any particular gate, not both the gates. So it is not like just we can replace either NAND or not anytime, but might be the prime focus could be different. Okay, so this is really important, which you should consider. So I will explain these things later on. So CMOS based NAND gate is the symmetrical one. No transistor sizing is required. No okay, no transistor sizing required to make the equal on time in the equal rise time in the fall time. Okay, so this is what the conclusion is. Next step is let us try to make the layout of this one. Okay, so the next the previous state was 7, now step 8. Okay, step 8 is like suppose I have this kind of structure, whatever I have just made it. Okay, so how we can make the layout of this this structure? The layout of this structure is just we can make like whatever the stick diagram we have made before. What we need to do, we need to create one VDD with the blue color, one ground with the blue color. We need to make the diffusion of both the PMOS transistors with the yellow color, and then the polysilicon with the red color, and similarly the diffusion for the NMOS transistor with the green color and the polysilicon with the red color, and then we need to connect it. Okay, so because you know this fundamental how to design the layout, so I have just quickly come up with this one. Okay, so this is the layout of this particular circuit, whatever we have here. Okay, so here what we have done, we have the polysilicon. So we have a polysilicon for A and B both, and one of the terminal of this polysilicon one of the terminal of this diffusion will be connected to the VDD, and one of the terminal of this diffusion will be connected to the VDD. This for the both M1 and M2. And similarly, because the other diffusion terminal is connected to the output here, so this one, yeah, let me use the highlighter. Okay, so here this is the one of the diffusion, like transistor M1, and one of the terminal is connected to the VDD, another terminal is connected to the V output. And because this is common in both the cases, so the same diffusion can be considered, and we need to connect it something like this, and one of the terminal will be connected to the VDD here. Okay, and if you talk about the A and B, both are in series, so we have the diffusion over here. One of the terminal is connected to the output, like so here one of the terminal is connected to the output, which is this one, and another one is connected to the grounded one, and here we are taking the output. Okay, so can anyone tell? Yeah, so this is one of the way to design the stick diagram. Okay, so let me write something with the other color, which is not here. Which color is not here? Black is also there. Yeah, this color is not here, right? So let us assume this is the M1, this is M2, this is M3, and this is M4. So this indicates transistor M1, this indicates transistor M2, this indicates transistor M3, and this indicates transistor M4. So these are the components like M1, M2, M3, and M4. But it is not necessary that we can have the only this kind of layout. Okay, there is some other possibility, like the layout can be different. Yeah, so here we have one more layout, the way of designing the layout. Okay, so what we can do, we can make, because see here, if you see here in the transistor M1 and M2, drain is common and source is common, right? Drain and source both are common, so we can do anything. Either we can take the output from the different nodes and make the common VDD, or vice versa. So in the first circuit, what we have done, we have done like we have provided a supply individually to both the transistors, and we have made common like the one other terminal of diffusion for the output one. And in other diagram, we can see like we have provided the supply voltage in the common way, and we are taking output from the different nodes. So both are possible. Okay, yeah, and accordingly the source and drain terminal will be changed. Okay, so in this structure, yeah, let me write that thing so you will be able to understand. So if you're talking about the first circuit, in this first circuit, this is the source terminal. Okay, this becomes the drain terminal, and this becomes the source terminal. Okay, and what about here? Yeah, this is the drain for both. Okay, so let me write D and D. And here we have so here we will have a source, here we will have a drain. Okay, here we will have a source, and here we will have a drain. Okay, so SD for the NMOS transistor. And similarly for in this case, where the VDD has been provided, this will be the source, this will be the source, this will be the drain, this will be the drain, and then yeah, this is same like the before. This is the drain, this is the source, drain, and the source. And if you see here, if we closely look into this, can anyone tell whether they both the layouts require different area, or they need same area?
The same area.
Same area, right? So if you see here, the number of layers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the second diagram, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5. Now, so what it means, in the horizontal direction, there is no problem. Okay, if I'm talking about the vertical direction, I have layers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So by seeing both the layouts, I can conclude that there will be no area difference. Okay, area will be both the layouts will require equal area. But the question is, which layout is good and which is not good? Okay, so can anyone tell me which one is good and which one is not good?
Sir, I think second one is better because there is common VDD source.
Okay, any other comments? I think this is not true. Okay, so let me answer your question. What happens if you see here, this is nothing but this is the diffusion, right? This yellow part is the diffusion one. Okay, and the diffusion capacitance is very important parameter, especially to what is the delay of this component. Okay, so here we have the diffusion. So if we talk about the output capacitance or output load capacitance, which is the input capacitance of the output which we have connected at here, and some of the diffusion capacitance of the internal circuit, whatever we have. Okay, so the load capacitance is nothing but this is the capacitance, which is the sum of the capacitance of input capacitance of the circuit, whatever we have connected over here, and some of the diffusion capacitances associated with the circuit which I am considering. Okay, so the input capacitance will be same, right? So input capacitance is fixed. Now let us talk about what is the change in the diffusion capacitance. Okay, so see here, in the first case, this output Y is connected with is associated with how many nodes? It is associated with this one node, and then second one is this one. And in the second case, if you see here, this is associated with this first one, second one, and the third one. So the second one will offer more diffusion capacitance. And if the second one is offering more diffusion capacitance, the effectively load capacitance will be higher and the delay will be more. Okay, so this is really very important to understand, especially if I'm designing the layout. So the layout should be proper. We need to minimize the diffusion capacitance and other parameters, even though both the circuits require equal area, but a proper designing will lead you to better performance in terms of the delay. Okay, so in the first case, yeah.
Sir, can you repeat that point again?
Yeah, so see here, if you see here in the first case, this output is connected with, this is the first path from where it is getting the diffusion. Okay, and the second path from where it is getting the diffusion. So in summary, we have a two component for the diffusion diffusion capacitance. If you see here, we have the three component. One component is here, one component is here, and the third component is here. So we will have a three diffusion capacitance component. Okay, so the effective diffusion capacitance at output will be higher in the second case. Okay, and if the diffusion capacitance is higher, the effective load capacitance will be increased, and if the effective load capacitance will increase, it will lead to higher delay. So even though both the layouts will require equal area, but the delay in the second layout will be more as compared to the first one. So the first one is preferable. Okay, so this is really very important, and that we should know the things. Okay, so I'm writing here less diffusion capacitance and here high diffusion capacitance. Okay, so this is what we can do. I will take one more minute, then I will finish it up. Okay, step 9 is the area. Can anyone calculate what is the area exactly? So if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 4 gaps. So 5 plus 4, W is equal to 5 plus 4 into 4 lambda, and the L is equal to, again it is 5 plus 4 into 4 lambda. So area is equal to 36 lambda into 36 lambda. Okay, so rest you can calculate it, what exactly value is. Okay, for any particular technology, either in terms of lambda you can also calculate. So this is what the NAND gate is. Tomorrow we will discuss about the NOR configuration, and we will try not tomorrow, in the next week. Okay, and we will try to see how NOR configuration is different than the NAND one. Yeah, this is the homework you can try at your home. Like just try to design the NOR gate, 2-input NOR gate with the same procedure, and try to calculate or try to check the delay component in both the cases, and you will get to know about these things. Okay, so I'm closing the session here. In case of any doubt, you can write email to me. Thank you so much.